just wanted to share something with you all. Just something I wanted to share with you because I've just been sitting here thinking, and I've been thinking about um, people that we call upon, or people that we, spirits that we give energy to that does us no good. And the energy that I'm speaking of is Roman and Greek gods. And we'll even go further with that in regards to more gods and who the Roman and Greeks got their gods from and how they implemented those gods into the current system, the system that we're currently living in. Meaning, every day you say these names all your life, all your life. But today we're going to get to the breakdown of those names. But first and foremost, in my last video, I seem to have affected some people. Uh, get in where you fit in. If I threw the shoe and you felt that you got hit by it or for it, but you're on the team, why you bugging out? You know, don't bug out. Like straight up. But anyway, the subject matter that I wanted to get to is the system that we're currently living in. And that current system is what? If I was to ask you, um, what system do we live in? Do we live in a democracy or do we live in a republic? What would you say? What would many of you say? Many of you would probably say democracy. Well, what is a democracy? A democracy is a government system that is established by the whole of the people. That whereas they typically uh, elect people to represent them, and that word um, democracy actually is a form of Portuguese and Latin. Portuguese and Latin make that word. So that's democracy, a system of government by the whole population that is typically um, ran through an elected representatives for the people. Okay, now you have a republic. A republic is a state in which the supreme power is held by the people and their elected representatives, which they elect a president versus having monarchy. I'm going to repeat that again. Republic is like republic is a state which supreme powers are in the hands of the people, but they elect the president to run the state as a head of the state versus having monarch. Okay? So which one would you say that you abide in? Which one would you say that you abide in? I mean, Republican in Latin means a public matter or public thing that is created through democracy. So a system of republic has to go through a form of democracy to even be established. And when we look at the word democracy, we'll go back to the root word of democracy. Um, and once you get into Latin and Greek and understand the etymology of the word, you will come up with the word demos or demon. Demon, devilish type of society. And this is what the republic system has to go through in order to make itself a republic. So what it sounds like to me and what I am explaining to you is that this democracy was a lower form of a republic system. And the republic system had to go through the evilness of that which democracy carried on to form itself a republic. I mean, if you think I'm lying, go look it up yourself. You have to have gone through democracy in order to have a republic state. Now, which one do we live in? Democracy or republic? Well, when we were in school, we always used to say the Pledge of Allegiance. And the Pledge of Allegiance will answer it very easily for you. When you say the Pledge of Allegiance, you say, I pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, or that which it was erected by, built upon, established upon, the republic for which it stands. One nation under God, blah, 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 right? But also in that pledge is part of a Masonic pledge, believe it or not, and that's a whole nother level. So your Pledge of Allegiance is like you pledging yourself to a Masonic order. Like, that's just real talk. But getting back to this republic or democracy. Now, seeing that we understand now that we live in a republic, where did it come from? Where did this system derive from? Where did it originate from? It actually derived from Rome. Rome was established by Romulus and Remus, Roman deities who were twin brothers, and Romulus killed Remus and named the city after himself, which is Rome. And Rhea Silva was the mother of these twins, who was impregnated by none other than Mars. But we'll get to that in a minute, right? Now, this system, which is once again established in Rome, and Rome was established, I believe, somewhere around 507 through 29 BC. Excuse me, 509 through 27 BC. That is the rule of Rome. 509 through 27 BC. Actual facts. Got that right. Now, during this time that it was established, okay, they gave us something along with this Roman Republic system that we are abiding under. Back then, during their time, they had an 8-day calendar. They had an 8-day calendar, whereas we have a 7-day calendar. Okay? And the 7-day calendar was adopted by the Romans after their invasion of Persia in or around 66 through 62 BC. Actual facts. And through their conquering, they picked up bits and pieces of the nations that they conquered and added that to their philosophy and their way of life, because they really had no philosophy. I mean, Stolen Legacy by George James, one of the master teachers, gave it up. And if you have not read that book, Stolen Legacy, I encourage anyone to read that book. In fact, this is my third time reading the book. First time I read it was about 20 years ago, and then I read it again maybe 5-6 months ago, and now I'm reading it again. But getting back to the Roman calendar, right? It originally had 8 days under the Julius Caesar calendar. Okay, they had 8 days under the Julius Caesar calendar. which is different from the Gregorian calendar, okay, which was established, I believe, in 1582 by Pope Gregory. I'm for sure it was that. Now these 8 days, these 8 days that the uh, Roman Julius Caesar calendar is Revi, Intandrin, Cosby, Gigi, Ensign, Walim, Walam, Wailum, Ngolum, Ngolium, and 8 is Kilovoy. Those are the 8 days of the Roman Julius Caesar calendar. And this was established, during that time of their rule, which was 509 through 27 BC. And Julius Caesar originally got his idea of a calendar from none other than the Black Queen herself. The Black Queen herself, Cleopatra. That's right, Cleopatra. And if I'm not mistaken, Cleopatra, there was a 360-day calendar. And the day that he borrowed that calendar or idea to establish a calendar for the Romans, because they had no calendar system. We already had that in play millenniums before the Romans and the Greeks were even heard of, wherever they came from, which we know, but that's a whole different story. We don't want to get off into that. I don't want to leave the subject. But yeah, they didn't have a calendar. And Julius Caesar had a relationship with Cleopatra, and he borrowed the idea from Cleopatra to establish such a calendar in or about 46 BC. Okay? Julius Caesar. Now we went from the 8-day calendar to the 7-day calendar. And like I said, from that time, from the 8-day calendar to the 7-day calendar, which we now abide under, came after their conquering of Persia, which was around 66 through 62 BC. Okay, actual facts. Now, those 8 days, they had a 3-day weekend and a 4-day work. No, excuse me, a 3-day weekend and a 5-day work day, whereas we have a 5-day week and a 2-day weekend. Okay, but they took the date out, but they added some too. And the reason that we have 360 versus the 360, which Julius Caesar got the idea from Cleopatra in about 46 BC, because of the Roman deities that they actually applied or sanctioned to be in that calendar, and we'll get to that in a minute. But now that we understand democracy, a republic, and we understand now that we live in a republic versus a democracy. So the next time people actually tell you that you live in a democracy, you actually need to slap them with some knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, and remind them that you actually live in a republic. And seeing that after all of these years that some people still didn't get it, that we actually lived in a republic, and they said it every day while they were in a school, saying it, making pledges to this country, to that flag, having no idea what that flag represents or anything. And I think that has something to do with India British Tea Company. We'll get off into that in a whole nother a whole nother demonstration because that U.S. flag is actually part of the British flag.